Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Next up, we have simplifying machine learning pipelines using MySQL HeatWave. Can we get a warm round of applause and welcome for Mr. Ivan Ma from Oracle?
Hi, good afternoon. So this is almost the last. My sections here is talking about the machine learning. What's the matter with MySQL? So just get through the evolutions for the database. MySQL has been well known since the start of MySQL in 1995. So it has been very long years, right? So 28 years from the start of MySQL. So over time, MySQL has been doing a lot of database, OLTP as role-based, to automate your operation procedures. And application is built for keying the data and storing the data, and you need to process it. And thereafter, people is talking about moving to the analyze the data, getting the data bigger, and thus we have business intelligence. And database going forward, we see people who's doing row-based and talking about column-based, right? Column-based database, people tries to analyze the whole lot of the data, and maybe the salaries, maybe the sales volumes, and all this is talking about the whole list of the data, and it's column, it's more effective. And that's what the data warehouse, the BI project is talking to these big data sets and big data and operational data stores. And today, people moving forward, to predict the futures with the historical data. And where's the data? Likely, on one side is the OLTP system that getting the data into it, and it is actually in your database, such as the MySQL. Your data is inside the database. So what happens is, if we have the in-database machine learning capability, the data, as all this data you reprocess, and then you go with to learn, as machine learning is to build the model, that would be perfect. And what the end game is to use that model to predict, what we might want to do. As one typical example, machine learning. If we study, in our uni, and likely you may heard of iris data. Iris is like flowers. The sepal, the petal, with the length, with the size, and the petal length with the size, and the people can identify the class. And typically, that kind of machine learning as the first step, first lessons with machine learning programming. And Python, you may actually do it a lot with the, what packages do you use? With machine learning, I believe today you may heard a lot already. Didn't you? Do you have any ideas? What package do you use with the Python? Machine learning. sklearn, right? Yes, correct. sklearn. And what in this pipeline, the data into the process and getting to the models. There are a lot of things. What it is? What are those processes that you'll be actually doing the work, right? In this pipeline from the data set, which you want to use this to build the models. What the model is? The model is actually based on the data, You need to massage data and then find the right algorithm. And the algorithm has a lot of parameters. And we're talking about your data with attributes, what people's talking about features. And then there are those parameters. People talk about hyperparameter tuning. And then choose your algorithm and fit for all these parameters, and then get the most valuable score. From the statistics point, there are many ways that we talk about the good or bad. Okay, a number. Okay, like in the COVID time, or even now, okay, when I ask for, okay, do you have COVID? Okay, 99.9% I can tell you don't have. Is this accurate? This is accurate, but it doesn't matter. Because by chance, I'm talking about this, that's no use, because almost we know that 99.9% when I say you don't have, that's correct already. So there, from statistic point, there are many ways to talk about the score, right? The accuracy. So there are algorithms to choose. There is also the way how we say this is accurate or not. Okay, but using what kind of algorithm and scoring method. So all this, you need to do the whole lot of the data, which when you try to run with the algorithm, do you want to run a millions rows against the algorithm and produce a score for the algorithm 1, algorithm A, B, C, and run this? Or for the algorithm A, you produce a score, okay, you spend a day. Algorithm B, and then you get the score, okay, another day. After 5 days, you have all these scores for the algorithm A, B, C, D, E. And then, now I know, after 5 days, I know I should use the algorithm B. That takes a lot of time. So what the process you may expect is not to run through the training data as a whole lot, but maybe sort of the sampling. Find the right sample, and then put into the right algorithm and produce a good result and compare, and then getting the so-called the training time to be short as possible and build a model. The training data to the model. The end game is I want to create a model in a short time. Am I correct? Find the right algorithm, find the right numbers, the parameters to tune them. Okay, sample the size of the data for produce the right score and get the best result. Okay, let's get into it. So Python, machine learning, and today, okay, we will leverage the MySQL, we call MySQL HeatWave. And we have the AutoML that actually to execute this from the dataset with the in-database data and produce the model, okay, and that model can be used in the database because you have the data in the database, and to predict, okay, what the outcome is. Just like what the first lessons with the iris data. I have the paddle, I have the saddle with the size. That's what class, okay, with this. There are many things. If I look at the flower, I know this flower is the class A, class B. So, how can we do this? Okay, just an example in here. So here's just an example, okay? So to run through this, okay, here, this is the database connections. I work with the connections. This is Python as Jupyter. And Jupyter, and I try to use the SQL. It's the interface to me. I'm a DBA. Now, I'm not a data scientist. Okay, I do not know too much about algorithm. Okay, what I want to know is just to predict the futures with the data set in DB. So what I do here is to connect to the database. Let me get to the quicker size. So what I do here is I connect to the database, okay, a particular IP address, and then what make is, okay, just to show you, okay, this is connected. This is connected to the database with iris data. So the iris data is here, down here. If you go somewhere, okay, the iris data sets at the first step, you can actually Google iris, machine learning, and data set. You get sort of the biology, okay, website and telling this is like, okay, iris for the sample size, whatever, that's the classifications, the class, okay, the last column is the class for that specific flower. So there are like 3 types of flowers. Okay, so what next here is, what exactly, how we can do this. After this, when I execute this, the data will be in there. Just an example, I run this, and data will be just answered, okay, to my database, and I can do some cleaning, okay, if I need to. Basically, if it is a database, tables, it might not be just one table. It has many tables, all the data in there. So we can massage the data in a very, because you are the data expert, you just massage the data and put it into all this like one fact table. And that fact table as the training table, and in a sense, what I do next is to train the data and build the model. So what I do here is, this is the trained data from Iris. And I want to determine the outcome with the class, which is the class as the column which specifies what the outcome is. And the algorithm that I want to do this model is classifications, not regressions. Not the numbers as actually like what's the price, what's the temperatures, what is the forecasting. No, we are just simply as classification model. So I put the task as classifications and include all these columns and include all the algorithm, okay, include all these like scoring methods, and then I just put it aside and build my model name as Iris model. So what I do here, if I click this, then basically it runs. And for this specific set of data, it takes like, for example, it is 20 seconds to create this model. And what here is, if we go back with the machine learning, okay, so we have the past and then we have the behavior, we can get into knowing what this uses, okay, tries to click this and looking at the product, and they have the purchase experience. So what now the person is clicking page 1 and the home page and products which is selling the cars and also selling something. And now we are going to sell you a battery, because in your past experience, going with sometimes the battery will be gone or damaged, then I want to show you this the damage for your car. Okay, just an example. That's why we, based on the typical experience and learned experience, and then put it in the model and predict the next step to recommend the next product. So here, everything we do, okay, interesting things here is the machine learning, the training models and predict, and this is just what I explained, the training and predictions, okay, in a few minutes ago. So what next is to go further is to explain, okay, if we can explain why this, okay, I give you this product, or why this, actually you need to call a customer and getting the success rate to be higher, I tell you why. Because you talk to this customer more time. Because this customer is aged above 40, or this customer is in uni and still studying. So that's change your behavior, change itself, okay? How they can select the customer or drive the person's behavior to do better job and making this success rate to be higher. Okay, so instead of just to predict, but actually making change for your existing and to explain, because all these factors, attributes, make an influence to the outcome, and we know what these so-called hyperparameters making the best impact to the outcome. Then we can explain and then change the behavior and making this as the real customer. Okay, so with the machine learning, it's not just to predict, but actually alter the way that what you do now, and then to make the change to the outcome. So with the traditional Python, this is just the first step. I just Google and find some sort of the step. You need to have the data set and the sklearn package, and then put it into CSV and get it into the memory and tries to put the algorithm, append all the algorithm, evaluate the so-called score, and all this to get a whole lot and then predict. So you see a lot of things. This is already simple. First step, first day, right? Already very simple. So it is a big challenge because of the time, I just go ahead. So a lot of things to do, okay, in this big process. What we do here is going all these steps to build the model and explainer and predictions. What we do here is best to here. You see, this was actually executed in 23 seconds for the training data, okay, for this iris data. And what next here is, based on this, we just to create a model, which if you have like, okay, I create in our own internal representations. Okay, this is a model. You may have other systems running with Python and create your model. You can export your model as Onyx, right? Onyx is one of the ways to standardize. Okay, you can export it, and you can do it the same way. Export your Onyx model, import into MySQL HeatWave, and we can use your model, and predict and explain. So what next here? I have the model. I just to load the model in here. So I have this model executed, and now what I next is to predict. And to predict is I got the flower size, sample, pattern. Okay? And that's the flower size and determine the class which is executed in here. Boom, the prediction is here. Consider this is not the flower. It's like a recommendation system for what products I want to show you on your next click. Right? On your page, when your next click, okay, show you the page. Oh, you want the battery. Exactly in here. The result as the prediction, the class is Virginica. What's the possibility of this? Okay, it's going to be correct. That's in here is telling you this is actually for the class A, class B, class C, but the generator in here is 100% correct. So from the prediction, that can be 99%. But whatever it is, basically we may actually get to explain as well. To explain, and this actually talking about the highly rated is the paddle width, which is 0.47, and paddle length is 0.65. So basically we see a lot of time when looking at the flower, the paddle, okay, the paddle is like under the flower, which make the biggest impact to the class, okay, for what it is. So because the other actually is 0.04 and 0.1 impact. So this can explain, okay, if you look at it, look at the paddle first, okay? And as well as in here, we can see this is like, okay, what's the big impact is the blue, right, in here. And all this we can explain and predict. So all along, what it is about MySQL HeatWave. MySQL HeatWave is the channel using MySQL to store the data. You have the data as in database dataset and has the capabilities to process data with what? Calling a store procedures. But how can it be possible in this MySQL HeatWave to do this, all this capability? Basically, it is supported by a back, okay, MySQL, and the back we have the engine. We have more than just one server. Many machines supporting them. Those machines is memory-based. Data is processed as very fast at the back. And then those actually with the capabilities running Oracle AutoML. Oracle AutoML includes all these engines and determine and sampling the data. Pipeline all this into choosing and right algorithm and scoring and supporting different kind of tasks, including classification, regressions, forecasting, okay? And also you can choose particular, like the data features, which can be include or exclude, or because you might not know exactly the attributes that has impact or not. You try to identify whether those attributes should be included in this machine learning process. You just put it into, okay, the training cycle. So you can see as the single MySQL interface, and your applications can actually get into, okay, the MySQL and running the same way. Your traditional apps, your web app, your applications just talking to the database and get the capability to run this as simple as just traditional applications. You and everybody can do it easily, right? With just simple application as like database connections and running string predictions, and also to explain and showing the chart. People should look at this, and this. So in here, basically, the MySQL HeatWave is the data is stored in the MySQL, and then this is stored in the NLDB. Whatever the real-time data is getting to the database, it will, at the same time, in real time, sending to the back cluster, and the back cluster of all the memory, okay? Which can be 512 machines with each a lot of CPUs and a lot of memory supporting them, okay? That can be a lot of data. And this can actually run it very fast. So here, how fast is MySQL applications running into this? Basically, when we talk about this, just an example in here. On the left-hand side and right-hand side, one is running with HeatWave, one is running without HeatWave. So what I try to refresh this screen, meaning it is trying to ping the server, okay, as the same SQL running. So you can see the chart on the left-hand side just come up quickly. But on the right-hand side, it is still running, taking time. So basically on this, it means a lot, your performance. Of course, why I'm telling you the performance? Because machine learning capability, it is not just, okay, to run, but it has to run fast. That's why I'm telling you, this is like OLTP, OLAP, machine learning capability. So all this going to here is in one box, we have the capability to do the in-memory train the model and then get the machine learning prediction, inference, and also to explain. So we support classification, regression, as well as forecasting. So here's just another example, which is talking about the campaign. Whether the person will be leaving us or actually coming back again. So with the data, like the contact, we have the monthly charge, and what about the family plans and subscription years. So in the SQL-based machine learning capability, we offer some of the like function, okay, which you can invoke and then passing the what you need the data. Machine learning, ML train, and load the model, predict a specific item, or actually you have a set of the data, it tries to execute, and on behalf of you, for each one, instead of you have to execute, okay, one by one. Because they are all the data. So why not we just put into a table format, please evaluate all this item, whether I need to go with, okay, the predictions for all this instead of one by one. So there's predict tables, predict rows, or explain table as well, and also scoring. They are the important facts. So here, again, data actually pushed down to the backend HeatWave engines, and then load the training data, and it has to sample, and then train the data. At the end, this actually sampling is to predict as well as to explain. So here, just an example again, talking about train the data, and it is classifications, and here, just to refresh, to load the models and predict a specific set of data, whether the outcome is good to us. So the predictions as the classifications in here, it is the less than 50K. You can see predictions in here. So all this, we can actually predict table again, and then we see the prediction. The income is less the plan or greater than the 50K income, okay, with all this information. So all in all, accessing to like the backend MySQL, yeah, many open source tools. Okay, you can expect Sublime, Jupyter Hub, and multi-users. Okay, or just standard MySQL client on your applications. Okay, so in here, this is the Jupyter, and you may use some other form of the. This is another form of like Zeppelin open source tools. So here, just to show you some of those, you can chart, you can actually tabulate it, you can do the pivot tables, and you can put a lot of things in, yeah, for your good use. So the ML explanation in HeatWave, we can differentiate the usability and the quality, whether it is good, because we have our own mindset, whether this is right or this is wrong. Okay, when it turns out that, okay, this is actually impact, okay, a lot of impact. Does it make sense? Okay, if it doesn't make sense for some reason, you can exclude it. You can exclude it, okay? And then that, yeah, even though it tells you, just like when a baby or there's a statistic story, whether people buy the the baby things with the bear. Remember, not quite sure whether you heard it. Okay, going into the supermarket, yeah, seems like bear and all these baby things can actually put together, but just so happen the data is consistent, but in fact there's no relationship. Buying the bear and buying the all these baby things, maybe it doesn't matter. So this is statistic. Yeah, with machine learning, it is data science, it is statistic. Okay, so that's all about today. I think time's up.
You have a couple of minutes.
Oh, really? Okay.
You can do questions and answers or keep
Sure.
presenting.
Okay, so I think today you can actually get started with the MySQL HeatWave AutoML, and this you can use it on our cloud, Oracle Cloud, which is the subscription base, and on our OCI cloud you can click, you can subscribe for a service, and this is available as well as on AWS as well as Azure. So basically on cloud you can actually use them. And MySQL HeatWave for your MySQL application, your data is in there. You have the capabilities to build your OLTP. You have the capabilities to build your OLAP. You have the capabilities to do the machine learning, as well as today a lot of things talk about data lake. Data lake, which is in here, we have the lakehouse, MySQL lakehouse, and that can store up even 500 terabyte data. So when you are trying to import this 500 terabyte data to your in-memory data with HeatWave, our benchmarks talking to us is 5 hours. 5 hours moving the data from that kind of the storage into the HeatWave and merging this tons of the data to your OLTP data as insane, and select statement building external and merging to the internal data and select them, and then in real time is showing you the result, how this curve works. So it is possible today. It's already ready in our platform as MySQL HeatWave. Okay, OLTP, OLAP, machine learning, data lake, and moving even further, what about the vector store? Talking about how we can look into the metadata and getting the result instead of record. That is in the upcoming, not today, but actually MySQL is not stopped at this moment. MySQL evolution is moving forward, is looking further, even on this vector store space. Like GPT is not getting to which record it is. It's metadata and telling you what the answers to your questions. Asking about what is the, how you get to the Japan. It's not, it can tell you based on the records, based on the analysis to the record, and tell you the answer. It's not telling you what is the record is. So, thanks a lot. Do you have any questions for today? Yes, go ahead.
So, given the number of different types of data professionals who would, interact with the MySQL database, you have data analysts, data engineers, data scientists, ML engineers, so on and so forth. If you had to pick one type of data professional that would benefit the most from this, who would it be?
Application developers.
Application development.
Yeah, because they look at the end result oriented. They just want to have the input and output, but they are not the data science. That's why data science, they have the expert. They want to drill into DMPs and choosing the algorithm by themselves. They may want, so we explain or actually talk to the data scientists, and then they will try to, what algorithm to use? What scoring method you use? Is that important? They care, but the end result people, they don't care, as long as this produce the outcome, right? So there are two perspectives, okay? And customer and app user, they want to deliver, okay? But your data scientists, they should come to us to build this, right? To build this for us. But we are trying to help you to not looking into this detail, but doing your own work. Does it answer your questions?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Okay, thanks a lot. Have a great day and this great evening.
That's a great talk, Ivan. We're going to have a few minutes for the attendees in the other track to come down here, about 5 minutes. And then Sammy Fang will deliver the closing remarks for PyCon HK 2023. So stay tuned.